and leading pharmacies nationwide.
Time check, courtesy of Live by Nature's Way, distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Maraval.
I am Jesse Ramdew.
I am Jassy Marik with sport.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rambassad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. PNM promises to take government to court over dismissal of hundreds of URP workers.
With opposition criticizing her for not putting people first, the Prime Minister says she loves people, just not ghosts.
Shooting incident at Kent House compound leaves one officer dead. Police now investigating what happened.
Ahead in sport, Jaden and Django come up with the goods, and the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons book a first ever appearance in the CPL playoffs.
Another round of thunderstorms expected tomorrow. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
400 URP workers sent home, and now the PNM says it's heading to court. Brian Manning announced this afternoon that the party's attorneys will take legal action against the Ministry of Local Government. From his San Fernando office, Manning called the move blatant victimization, targeting mostly single parents and unskilled workers.
On Wednesday, the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government terminated their contracts. The URP board is mum on what will happen to the remaining 700 monthly paid workers. Yesterday, Minister Khadija Amin said the restructuring is aimed at rooting out corruption and restoring integrity.
But Manning said workers' rights have been violated as they cannot be fired without just cause. He also criticized the timing of the dismissals, which came at the start of the new school term.
The minister callously waited until the beginning of the new school term to send people home, without a care in the world for how they're going to take care of their children, pay for them to complete the school term, how they're going to take care of their families. Many of the employees in the URP and CPEP programs were unfortunately unskilled single mothers, some of the most vulnerable people in Trinidad and Tobago. And this government and the Ministry of Local Government simply do not care about how these people are going to make a living.
Former workers say the dismissal has left them struggling with unpaid bills and mortgages.
They also believe the government's reform unfairly targets single mothers who depended on the program. One woman questioned how families are expected to survive.
What do you want me to do? Pack up ourselves and go by Khadija in the house and sit down? Answer me no, we talking one-on-one. How? Because if we didn't pay our mortgage, AGC coming to slip a letter on our door. So how come? How? I will pick up my thing with my child, gainfully, and go and sit down by the Honorable Kamala Bissessa, which she said when UNC win, everybody win, which is a totally blatantly lie.
Well, another former employee, Michaela Jordan, said workers often face late salaries and constant pressure from creditors. She added that while she supports reform, she questioned why head office staff was spared when that was where the key decisions were made.
And Joanne Antoine says after 10 years on the job, she was blindsided by her sudden dismissal from the URP, and she's now left to rebuild her life from scratch. She
was among the 400 monthly paid workers who received termination letters yesterday at the URP's El Socorro office today. Antoine told CNC3 News the abrupt move has left many in disarray, with uncertainty hanging over their future.
They ain't giving nothing more than a month pay, right? So you come like if you had to start over again. You ain't getting nothing from URP. URP ain't giving nothing. They're supposed to give us a package. Never give us a package. They keep on burning down our money.
Now, Antoine said if the company was intent on removing workers, they should have given them enough time to put things in place to ease the financial strain on their personal lives.
They could have just wait till the budget, do what they had to do, and then send me home before they so understand us home. Or they could just demote us and bring in who all they want to bring in. Right? Because have plenty of people out there have nothing else to go to.
CNC3 News understands that 700 monthly paid workers remain on staff as at Thursday afternoon.
The opposition leader Penelope Beckles is criticizing the government's decision to terminate 400 URP workers.
Yesterday, Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin defended the government's actions, saying a restructuring of the Make Work program was necessary to combat corruption, revealing that monies were being siphoned by ghost gangs.
But during a political meeting in Diego Martin last evening, Beckles accused government of targeting vulnerable citizens without offering a credible justification for the mass termination.
Many of you who are here, whether you have children or you don't have children, you understand the pain, the suffering, the frustration of losing your jobs almost for no reason, because they cannot give you a good reason as to why they send home every single contractor, every single worker.
Well, Beckles questioned how a prime minister can say she loves citizens, but fire them.
However, when contacted, the prime minister said, quote, "I love people, but I don't like ghosts," end quote.
Well, Finance Minister Devendra Natanku is defending the dismissal of 400 unemployment relief program workers, saying the opposition has no moral authority to criticize.
In a social media post, he issued a reminder that when the PNM won the 2015 elections, URP workers were all locked out of offices and immediately fired. According to Tanku, that was done without any explanation, notice, or money by the same PNM that's pretending to care for workers today. At a political meeting in Diego Martin yesterday, former Finance Minister Com Imbert accused the government of firing workers because of financial mismanagement, pointing to unpaid salaries, retrenchments, and unfulfilled promises. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles also weighed in, calling the dismissals hypocritical. She said unlike the UNC now, the PNM kept CPEP contractors in 2015.
Well, with hundreds of URP workers sent home, today we asked whether you support government's move.
Here's what you had to say.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
The whole system with the URP have to be cleaned up, and then they're going to bring back the people to work. They have to sort out the internal problems.
There's a lack of transparency around everything taking place. It's just like you're employed today and then you're unemployed tomorrow. And I would encourage people to be mindful about the things they endorse or they encourage, because you never know when it could be your turn.
I am in total support of the government because I believe where there is corruption, you need to weed it out.
That's wasting time because most people out of work 10,000, 20,000. What do you want them to do?
Well, I think that if it is a fact that it is corruption, then I am in agreement with the dismantling and restructuring the program.
I understand they're going to go home, and I'm really sorry for them because I wouldn't like to lose my job now. But if it cannot be facilitated in the budget, if they don't have the money to do it, there is no choice.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
Still to come in the news, a day after its viral school fight, police warn Arima North secondary students that violence will not be tolerated.
Former Finance Minister says a 10% offer to public servants could cost taxpayers $38 million.
And coming up in sports, Santa Cruz Sports makes a winning start in defense of their North Zone T20 cricket title.
They're from all over Trinidad and Tobago.
Meet the smart small businesses that keep communities alive.
Like Anil, wrapping roti at lightning-fast speeds at his family's shop.
Sandra, nailing every order in her hardware because she's connected to her customers' needs.
Lisa, who is in sync with style. There is no buffering at her boutique when customers are deciding.
And Dr. Alex, filling prescriptions with care,
leaving zero room for error.
They're all part of the 5,000 strong businesses, connected and growing with reliable, high-speed service from Amplia.
Now it's your turn. We have reduced broadband and limitless voice packages to as low as $525. Speed means business. So sign up today and you could win $5,000 in capital investment,
a year of free internet,
a mini smart projector, and more.
Because with Amplia,
you're in good company. Amplia Business.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a police officer who died after being shot in the neck while on duty.
Constable Jamal Charles died at the scene of the shooting, which took place at Kent House, Maraval. Kent House houses the head office of Local Government Minister Khadija Amin. CNC3 News understands that the incident took place just after 3 p.m. Police say Charles was shot with his colleague's gun. At the time of the shooting, 3 officers were in the guard booth when one officer heard the gunshot as he was looking out into the car park. Minister Amin says Charles joined the police service in March. The minister, who was not on the compound at the time of the shooting, called for privacy for Charles' family.
While I am extending my condolences to his family members, as well as his colleagues and friends, I want to urge members of the public to respect the privacy of his grieving family during this painful time, but also to refrain from speculation until the outcome of the investigation. We don't know exactly what transpired, but I have confidence that at the end of the investigation, we will have some more details.
Amin adds that she and her ministry extends its full support to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the loved ones of Officer Charles as they cope with this tragedy.
The PNM's deputy political leader, Colm Imbert, says the current government is making serious blunders in its governance, including its decision to send home hundreds of URP workers. Imbert was speaking at a political meeting in Diego Martin last evening.
One of the reasons is they made too many foolish promises. Far too many foolish promises. Promises that they could never keep.
Citing a 10% increase for public servants for the period 2014 to 2019, Imbert said government's campaign promises will be detrimental to the economic stability of the country.
If they give the PSA 10% for the period, and then they have to give everybody else in the public sector, guess how much the back pay would be? When you add the 5% for the next period, 20 to 22, $28 billion.
Teachers, police, prisons and fire services, as well as the Defense Force, accepted the last administration's offer of 4%.
Meanwhile, Imbert also admitted that his party's defeat in the April 28th general election was the result of what he bluntly described as too many stupid mistakes.
He said the PNM failed to maintain a strong connection with its core supporters and had too often ignored the importance of consensus in decision-making.
Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is warning Trinidad and Tobago, the United States and Guyana against provoking conflict in the Southern Caribbean. During a military rollout in Sucre State, Rodriguez said the nations are aligning with plans to threaten Venezuela's sovereignty and could destabilize the region. She told the countries to, quote, take it easy, do not dare, and do not even think about it, end quote. On September 7th, Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez announced the deployment of 25,000 troops across 5 states, including Delta Amacuro near Trinidad, as part of Venezuela's Independence 200 operations. And Venezuelan Justice Minister Diosdado Cabello has again accused TNT's Prime Minister of placing local fishermen in danger through his support of the U.S. military. Earlier this week, Kamla Pisabi-Sessa refused to offer assistance to the Colombian government to search for survivors and wreckage following a U.S. attack on a purported drug-running vessel. However, last night, Cabello knocked Pisabi-Sessa's support for the U.S., noting that she bore the responsibility for any danger that local fishermen may face. He also accused the U.S. government of failing to explain the reasoning for the strike, as he dismissed earlier reports that the vessel was operated by members of the Tren-Daragua gang.
And Acting Prisons Commissioner Hayden Ford has no official directive to begin the processing of Venezuelan inmates for deportation. The state announced that it will be deporting 200 Venezuelan nationals currently in local prisons for illegal activities. Well, today, Ford tells CNC3 News the prison service is committed to ensuring security, but notes there's been no correspondence from the government.
If the Prime Minister would have made such a statement, we haven't received any directives thus far.
However, Ford said he endorsed the Prime Minister's decision as he felt it would reduce the volume of prisoners in custody, allowing for more efficient management.
It's approximately $20,000 to manage an inmate accordingly. So it will reduce our bill in terms of inmate management. It will also reduce inmate population. So therefore, part of the overcrowding will be reduced.
Ford estimated that there are about 130 Venezuelan prisoners in custody, with more being held at the Immigration Detention Center in Wallerfield and the heliport in Chaguaramas.
Dr. Amy Brown, who once served as this country's chief diplomat, warns that foreign policy positions must be carefully constructed, grounded in national values, and aligned with both international and domestic law.
He strongly criticized the Prime Minister's recent rhetoric on regional tensions between the United States and Venezuela, describing her language as inflammatory and unfit for international diplomacy.
He expressed concerns that unless handled responsibly, the nation's voice of reason will not be heard on the world stage.
You cannot secure the health of our society if you are engaging in persecution against some of our most hard-working public health officials. Many of you were here already, but on the news tonight, there were reports of a campaign of pressure and persecution against someone by the name, who I have great respect for, by the name of Dr. Roshan Parasram, the Chief Medical Officer of Trinidad and Tobago. And the message from the...
All right, well, Dr. Brown said government's refusal to assist in locating the bodies of 11 people killed in the U.S. strike, despite calls from the Colombian president, violates the Geneva Convention and other humanitarian obligations.
Well, a public health specialist is calling the government's treatment of Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasram disgraceful.
Now, officials remain silent on reports he is being pressured to resign. But the opposition PNM has warned government to keep its hands off the CMO. Yesterday, CNC3 News reported that Dr. Parasram was asked to resign just days before he was scheduled to return from months of vacation leave. No one has since refuted the report, and attempts to confirm from the head of the public service and permanent secretary from the health ministry have so far been unsuccessful. However, a public health specialist who asked for anonymity says he's disheartened and angered by the treatment of Dr. Parasram, who he hailed as a hero during the pandemic. And last evening, PNM Senator Dr. Amy Brown told the government to leave the health workers alone. Well, the government has given no reason for reportedly wanting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasram out, though questions arose when he took leave in May, which Health Minister Dr. Lakram Boda said was routine.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, then opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa had strongly criticized Parasram and the government, blaming their strategies for high case and death rates. A Florida appeal court has upheld a fraud judgment against businessman Steve Ferguson in the Piarco Airport case, ending nearly 2 decades of litigation. The court affirmed the jury's finding that Ferguson was liable for fraud, conspiracy, and violating Florida's civil RICO law through inflated contracts tied to the airport's construction. Prosecutors said key parts of the scheme, including inflated bids, kickbacks, and money transfers, were carried out in Florida. Judges agreed, citing Ferguson's role in directing the conspiracy from Miami and funneling proceeds through shell companies to officials in Trinidad and abroad. The multi-million-dollar judgment, tripled under RICO, remains in force, marking a major milestone in one of Trinidad and Tobago's most infamous corruption cases.
In tonight's Business Watch, Agostini Limited has secured the minimum target shareholding necessary to execute its planned acquisition of Prestige Holdings Limited. However, there is still one more step to go.
Meanwhile, DHL says the recent U.S. tariff announcements hasn't quelled TNT's online shopping appetite. Peter Christopher tells us more.
Agostini is one step closer to the completion of the takeover of Prestige Holdings Limited. In a release on Wednesday, the company confirms it has secured the minimum target shareholding required to facilitate its takeover of Prestige. Agostini was required to acquire 90% of PHL's shares not held by Victor E. Muti Limited and its affiliates or associates, or the equivalent of 96.9% of all Prestige shares. The announcement comes days after Agostini had announced an extension to the offer to Prestige shareholders to Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. However, that deadline remains active as Agostini is still awaiting final regulatory approvals, including clearance from the Trinidad and Tobago Fair Trading Commission. The new board of the Fair Trading Commission is still to be announced. Agostini says the acquisition of Prestige, which is the franchise holder for international brands KFC, Starbucks and TGI Fridays in Trinidad and Tobago, is expected to significantly expand Agostini's footprint in the food and hospitality segment. Despite the implementation of increased tariffs by the United States, International Logistics and Courier Delivery Company DHL has not seen any drop-off in its business operations. According to country manager of DHL, Edwin Mondesi, there were concerns, but so far,
we haven't seen a change. What we've seen an increase of is questions, because people have a lot of questions. And again, we're here with the answers. And if we don't have the answers at the given time, because everything is so fluid, we get the answers and we know where to go to get the answers.
DHL, which recently moved into a new multi-million-dollar facility in Sawa in July, says online commerce continues to be thriving in Trinidad and Tobago, with Amazon, Temu, and Shein all commanding significant attention in the country.
We have seen an increase in all those businesses that you've mentioned, and even more so. Because of the ease of getting it here and getting that package, not just when it leaves where it's coming from, whether it's China or from the US or what have you, but getting it right to your door. And we haven't seen any slowdown in that, which is amazing to me.
Mondesi says DHL has also been keeping on top of custom policies so it can maintain efficiencies, noting the importance of its service to small and medium enterprises. The company is looking forward to its peak period of business, which runs from October straight to the end of the carnival season. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNC3 Business Watch.
All right, well, still to come in the news, phone signal leads the search for missing businessman Imraz Ali.
We had widespread showers today over both islands, with thunderstorms developing during the afternoon over western and central Trinidad, which led to street flooding in just a few areas. This activity gradually decreased over the last few hours, but there are still a few showers around. I'll let you know how tomorrow is shaping up just after the break.
What should your parents use to fight inflammation?
Omega XL.
What do you think I should take, babe?
My mommy and daddy should use Omega XL to fight inflammation.
It's a beautiful day at the Oval. And opening the bowling from the Palm Grove end is Sean Bishop. And here he comes charging in. Right arm over the wicket. Powell takes a huge swing. Richardson is under it. Whoa! That was a spectacular catch. Big things ahead for this new crop of youngsters. The future is bright.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
Okay, I see you. Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off, shake off. Let me see you rock off, rock off. Let me see you kick right, now kick left, now step forward, now step back. Lucozade, bring the energy.
Welcome to
system, contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
So let's start by explaining insurance concepts.
Insurance is one of the most misunderstood financial instruments.
If you don't have it and something happens, well, you're kind of out of pocket.
Insurance is a financial tool to mitigate against the risk that we face.
So what happens to somebody that if they lose their job in the middle of their policy?
If the pool of money dries up, the money has to come from somewhere.
Right.
Tune in on CNC3 this Friday at 8 p.m.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. Have you noticed the XL products at your local pharmacy? Endorsed by cricket star Andre Russell and many more, these supplements represent the pinnacle of natural health solutions, trusted for their efficacy and purity.
Welcome back. Just a day after teacher and student fight at Arima North Secondary, the new school police unit paid a visit.
Tutor President Martin Lumpkin said teachers and students were addressed during today's assembly. 38 seconds of the fight was recorded and shared on social media, showing the teacher and student pulling at each other's hair while some students looked on and others attempted to stop them. Head of the school-oriented police unit, DCP Junior Benjamin, says while the school is not on the list of 50 schools now being manned by police, it is one that was being closely monitored. Lumpkin says tutor awaits a report on the incident.
We were informed that the officers were strict with their warnings to the students present. Tutor cannot confirm whether the teacher reported for duty or if the student involved was at school today. Up to the time of this recording, the team from the Ministry of Education did not report to the school.
The National Council for Parents and Teachers Association says the incident is particularly concerning as it occurred on the third day of the new police deployment program.
Walter Stewart adds that the association has concerns about the current list of schools manned by police and began reviewing it to recommend additional schools, noting that Arima North Secondary is considered at risk and should be included. Parents of students attending Arima North Secondary School are welcoming the presence of police officers at the school.
The parents, most of whom spoke off camera, say while they are not certain about what triggered the fight between the teacher and the student, they are deeply disturbed by the development. One parent says the fight is nothing new. Another parent says the behavior of children at the school has improved greatly from when he attended. Workers who spoke on the condition of anonymity says the child is a good child and the teacher acted after the child refused an instruction not to throw paper. One parent believes corporal punishment is the solution.
I think that the powers that be should consider that since they moved that no corporal punishment in schools, I think they need to reconsider that because children need to have more respect. They have to have respect.
Well, the incident is currently under investigation by both police and the Education Ministry.
CNC3 News understands that both the teacher and student did not attend school today.
And the opposition leader is questioning the government's decision to deploy armed police officers in schools, raising concerns about the criteria used to select institutions and whether the measure addresses the root causes of crime among youth.
At a political meeting in Diego Martin, Beckles referenced the incident in the Arima school where no police officers had been stationed at the time. She also pointed to reports that Southeast Port of Spain Secondary had not been allocated officers despite a history of violence there. While acknowledging the seriousness of the crime situation, she cautioned against quick fixes, reminding supporters that under the PNM, special programs were put in place to support students, particularly those considered at risk. And Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett could not confirm whether the student involved in the fracas at Ziarima North Secondary School will continue attending classes.
The minister was asked to clarify whether the school had taken action against the student. However, the minister would only say that an investigation into the incident continues.
The investigation is ongoing, and the school discipline matrix has measures to deal with whether students are in class or not, depending on the severity of the incident.
The Education Minister also urged parents and school staff not to take matters into their own hands and end up in brawls with students. He reminded that there are now systems in place to deal with unruly students. Well, the Education Ministry is reinstating its SEA recognition program, celebrating top-performing students and schools across Trinidad and Tobago. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett says 201 students earned spots in the top 200 due to a tie. Girls made up 61% of the group, while boys accounted for nearly 39%.
That's right. Victoria led the districts with 30% of top scorers, followed by St. George East and Tobago and the Northeast remain underrepresented. Denominational schools dominated the rankings with 68% of top students. Private schools followed with 20% and government schools with 11%.
The top 200 students to be awarded certificates of excellence and commemorative tokens, while the top 25 schools will be awarded plaques in recognition of their outstanding institutional performance. This initiative will highlight the achievements of schools and students, fostering a culture of excellence and encourage improvement across the educational system. It will hopefully motivate them to improve in their performance.
Now, there was a three-way tie for first position. Among the top achievers are Nicholas Dolly from Shigona's government, Sandaya Maraj from Macaulay government, and homeschooler Xavier Telsford.
The minister also announced a review of the SEA exam, but did not give any further details. It's now time for the weather forecast with Jean-Marc. Saw some rain today in the city, and I just immediately thought of floods and I ran away.
A lot of rain, you know. I could imagine most of those working in Port of Spain would have been under a bit of PTSD, especially what happened yesterday with all of the flooding in the capital. The forecast panned out pretty nicely today. We got widespread showers and just one or two thunderstorms. So let's take a look at the satellite. Tropical wave number 30 is finally nearing the island chain after slowing to a crawl over the last few days. We also have tropical wave number 31 in the eastern Atlantic, which should get here early next week. And the shaded area is actually for a tropical wave that is expected to come off the African coast tomorrow. Now, the National Hurricane Center currently has a 30% chance of development on that wave over the next 7 days. So taking a closer look at the region, mostly fair over the Leeward Islands today. Just a few showers over the windwards, but some thunderstorms from that approaching tropical wave are expected to affect them tonight into tomorrow. Off to our east, not a lot of activity, but as the waves move closer, it will affect our wind direction just a bit. So the forecast for tonight, fair to partly cloudy with isolated showers favoring Tobago and eastern areas of Trinidad. Overnight lows of 24 in Trinidad and 26 in Tobago. Tomorrow, winds are expected to be out of the southeast to south. Now, once that happens, showers are expected to favor the southern half of Trinidad at first, then spread to central and northern areas, where thunderstorms are most likely to form from late morning into the afternoon. So be sure to look out for the possibility of street and flash flooding in those areas. Conditions should then settle by the evening despite a few lingering showers overnight. Sea conditions have not changed much, with waves in open waters near 1.5 meters and calm to smooth in sheltered areas, but occasionally choppy near those heavier showers with the gusts. Winds are expected to be out of the southeast to south at about 10 to 15 knots. Now looking ahead, after a relatively wet day tomorrow, the afternoon thunderstorms look likely to continue into the weekend. I know that we were initially looking at some improvement on a Sunday, but the models are changing a bit, so we'll have a better idea on what to expect for Sunday tomorrow. But by Tuesday, some improvement may be expected, especially after tropical wave number 31 passes overnight Monday into Tuesday. Now, this afternoon, just off the eastern coast of Trinidad, a dual water spout was spotted and formed near some heavy showers. Now, we normally see them in the Gulf of Paria along our west coast, so it's certainly a rare sight for those in the Manzanilla area. I personally have not ever seen a water spout in person. I've only ever seen videos.
Imagine seeing two in person.
I remember seeing one a long time ago in complete awe. So, I mean, the witnessing to it would probably be so amazing.
Almost similar to your double yolk egg story.
Almost. Thank you so much, Jean-Marc. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Do you suffer from pain in your back, knees, or joints and need effective pain relief? Get your life back with Omega XL, a natural, safe, anti-inflammatory supplement. This small soft gel has up to 22 times more omega-3 free fatty acids than fish oil and is backed by 30 years of clinical research.
I can just tell you from my experiences, there's nothing like this Omega XL.
Live the life you deserve and get the relief you need. Get Omega XL now at your local pharmacy.
Do you also find putting on shoes awkward? Do it like me. Put them on easily without using your hands. It's like an invisible shoehorn helping you step right into the shoe. You don't even have to bend down. Just slide your foot in and you're done. Try it. Skechers Slip. Hands free.
Don't forget, we are Food Basket Superstore right here in Arima. Come see for yourself. From stationeries to household items and so much more right here at Food Basket Superstore in Arima.
I really love the variety. There's something for everyone here.
High blood pressure doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aja Nutrition's blood pressure support is crafted with a clinical strength blend to help you take control naturally. Gentle on the body, powerful for your heart. Blood pressure support by Aja Nutrition. Naturally strong.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Welcome back. The Hunter Search and Rescue Team returned to Felicity in Chaguanas today to continue searching for missing businessman Imraz Ali.
Today marked day 5 of the search for the 60-year-old last seen on September 4th. CNC3 News understands Ali was carrying a substantial amount of money when he went missing. His son received a call from Ali's cell phone around 2 a.m. on September 5th and heard him screaming before the line went dead. Valence Rambarat led today's effort, saying the team intensified their search after learning the last signal from Ali's phone pinged off a nearby tower.
When we come to an area, you find we interact with the residents in this area. They are farmers, and they would stop on the road and point us and give us certain leads. And so for the morning, they've pointed out a flock of cobos and way distance down there, and we're going to try to reach using a tractor. We should be here shortly to try to investigate that. And not only that, we have side roads of these roads. We've searched them thoroughly.
Efforts to contact the family have been unsuccessful. In some other news, Pan Trinbago President Beverly Ramsey Moore says she's extremely worried about the National Gas Company's decision to cut sponsorship of 3 steel bands and withdraw funding from the organization, warning the move could set a precedent for other state-owned companies.
NGC has ended its partnerships with the Labrador Nightingales, Couva Joylanders and Tobago's Steel Explosion, citing a contract re-evaluation. Ramsey Moore called the decision insensitive and passing strange, adding that investment in Steelband supports youth, women and communities.
She has appealed for dialogue with NGC and asked Culture and Community Development Minister Michelle Benjamin to intervene. During Steelband Month last month, Benjamin reaffirmed her ministry's support for the Steelband community, praising its positive impact on youth and pledging to stand with PAN players across TNT.
Both the ministry and NGC have yet to respond. All right, let's check in with Jassy for the latest in sport. Jassy.
Thank you, Jesse. After this break, TNT Olympian Tyra Gittens-Sportsville shares her philosophy ahead of the World Athletics Championships in Japan. And the world's fastest man declares his world records are safe for the foreseeable future. We'll tell you more after the break.
This is a serious problem in Trinidad. What is diabetes?
There are two forms. Diabetes type 1, when your body stops producing insulin. Type 2 diabetes is a result of poor lifestyle. Type 2 diabetes is associated with being overweight, having high blood pressure, at higher risk for heart disease. It is a very serious problem.
Do not wait until it's too late. Let Omega XL be the first step in the right direction.
Get your Omega XL today. Live long, stay strong with Omega XL.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Do you know that Neo Eyewear was the first to offer the Ray-Ban Meta glasses in Trinidad?
And yes, they are genuine and authentic with different colors and sizes to match your style. With these glasses, you can listen to music, take calls hands-free, pictures, and even videos.
And yes, they offer a free eye test.
And back to school sale, frames, lens for $200. You heard me right, $200 for frames, lens, eye test, everything. So what are you waiting for? See your way with Neo Eyewear.
Do you also find putting on shoes awkward? Do it like me. Put them on easily without using your hands. It's like an invisible shoehorn helping you step right into the shoe. You don't even have to bend down. Just slide your foot in and you're done. Try it. Skechers Slip. Hands free.
Food basket. Food basket, nation's #1 supermarket. Bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. Rima, you wanna shop, let go view. Food basket, the nation's #1 supermarket. Bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food basket, hypermarket, Arima, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
It's time for sport now. Trinidad and Tobago stars Amir Django and Jaden Seals guided the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons to a tense 4-wicket win over the Guyana Amazon Warriors at Providence last evening. Birthday boy Seals took CPL career best figures before Django anchored a shaky run chase.
Guyana lost an early wicket after they were put into bat first, before Ben McDermott scooped this for 4 runs. He tried it again but ended up being a second wicket for Jaden Seals. Shimron Hetmeyer didn't trouble the scorekeepers, and just like that, the Warriors were 3 down. Shehope looked good for his 26, becoming the runs leader in this edition of the CPL. But he lost Hassan Khan in this Usman Mayot over. Then Amazon Warriors lost 3 wickets within 5 runs, including Hope, and they were plunged to 58 for 6. Dwayne Pretoria scored 12. They plunged into further difficulty at 78 for 9 as Merle took 3 for 17. And Seals 4 for 15 in his 24th birthday. Guyana bowled out for 99. The Falcons' reply started just like the opponents, 3 for 1. And Kevin Wickham hit 2 beautiful 4s before he was out to Imran Tahir for 13. Tahir took back-to-back wickets, and Moeen Ali got 1 as the Falcons slumped to 24 for 4. But Amir Django came to the rescue with a level-headed contribution, although he lost Shama Springer for 2 and Imad Wazin ran out for 16 as the Falcons panicked and the home team fought back. But Django showed his class to the Providence crowd. Late support from Fabian Allen saw him score 50 not out, while Django brought up his 50 with a 6 and ended on 51 not out, anchoring his team to the 4-wicket win and progressed to the playoffs.
You obviously know Providence is probably not the easiest of wickets to probably post a big total on. So we know if we could control the scoring rate to maybe under 150, that was what we were looking at. But Jaden Seals, what an amazing bowler, obviously on his birthday as well. Outstanding from him, giving us that start.
Yeah, this is my best CPL to date. I've had a lot of chances before with the TKR franchise. Didn't do very well, and I got the opportunity to play with a new franchise, got the opportunity to lead the attack and to try and expand my game, get more experience, and obviously get better, not for myself, but for West Indies cricket as well.
Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago Olympic long jumper Tyra Gittins-Spotsville will be our first athlete into action at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan. Gittins-Spotsville takes her first leap in qualifying at around 5:30 a.m. Trinidad and Tobago time on Saturday morning. The national long jump record holder comes into the event ranked 30th in the world with bronze medal success at the NACA Games last month. She told Guardian Media Sport that as she embarks on her world championship journey, psychological preparation is key.
It's keeping myself, managing my emotions, I guess, and my excitement. That is like what this is all about, because everything I've needed to do on the track, I've already done. It's about focusing on the things that really matter, and it's not necessarily a result. It's focusing on staying calm. It's focusing on staying present.
Gittins-Spotsville said she has already accomplished one major goal, which is getting to this late stage of the season in good shape.
Yeah, I've had a great team around me this year, and I've been doing a phenomenal job staying up with my recovery and always eager to learn new things. And so it's been awesome being able to actually finish a season healthy.
Gittins-Spotsville is in qualifying Group A of the long jump event on Saturday morning, and she's hoping to progress to the final, which is on Sunday. We wish her the best, and we'll have more from our athletes in Japan before the end of the week. Shadian Raymond scored an unbeaten 58 as reigning champions. Santa Cruz Sports scored a 6-wicket win when the North Zone T20 Festival bowled off last evening. Ian Wason reports that Raymond's effort led a challenging chase after Dejon Charles and Clifton Halls ignited Barataria ball players.
After Clifton Halls and Dexter Sween gave Barataria a perfect start with 61 by the 5th over, Sween was the first to go. Then came in Dejon Charles, a reputed 6-hitter. He made the Diego Martin Sports Complex look too small for his might with 6 sixes in his 53. But he was a second ball player's wicket to fall at 144 for 2. Halls was next out at 158 for 3. He made 61. They got some smaller contributions late on that helped them to 190 for 6. The best bowler for Santa Cruz was Shaquille John with 2 for 50. In the reigning champions' reply, they lost Devon Sween for 1 with only 7 runs on the board. Then a 59-run partnership followed between Kashmir Mitchell and Ryan Yearwood. They lost 2 quick wickets, Mitchell gone for 41 and Yearwood for 18. However, Brian Yearwood joined Chadian Raymond in the middle, and they took the score from 67 for 3 to 152 for 4. An 85-run partnership that put Santa Cruz back on solid ground. And although Yearwood was trapped in front by Charles on 43, Raymond and Alvin Smith took them home to safety, 193 for 4 to win by 6 wickets. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
And of course, we're gearing up for the return of Brian Charles Lara with his boyhood club Harvard, and he's expected to play on the weekend. As the dust settles on Trinidad and Tobago's latest blow to the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign, the search for answers continues. Central players Tyrese Spicer and Daniel Phillips say they are disappointed but determined. Here's Caston Cupid.
After a goalless draw at home to Curacao and a 2-0 defeat to Jamaica, TNT sits third in Group B in the final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualification with just a point. The disappointment is obvious, according to Daniel Phillip, who was suspended for the Jamaica clash.
But football's a game of fine margins, and I feel like we didn't take our chances, or our chances were offside. On another day, we run away winners and happy, but that's just football. It's cruel sometimes. Disappointed. We feel that we deserved more from the 2 games, but we can't sit around and just feel sad for ourselves. We have to get on with it now. We know the position we're in, have to get 4 wins, and we have to work towards that now.
Tyrese Spicer, who started both encounters, echoed his teammates' sentiments, but is also optimistic that the Warriors can bounce back to get the necessary results in their 4 remaining matches.
Overall, as a team, I just think we just need to focus on the games ahead. The battle is now over. I just think we just need to be confident and just keep our heads up, because we could still get 12 points and we could still, get through to the World Cup. And just need to stay positive.
In the next international window, the Warriors face a pair of away matches against bottom-of-the-table Bermuda on October 10th and a return leg with second-place Curacao 4 days later. critical matches that must go in TNT's favor.
And the 2 games against Bermuda and Curacao is away, and it will be difficult, but we have all the intentions of winning those games, but we just still need the support, still need all the encouragement, and we just got to get the job done.
On Friday, the government is set to begin debate on the Constitution Amendment Bill, and more specifically, the grandfather law, which is expected to clear the way for third-generation descendants of TNT nationals who were born abroad to represent TNT's national football teams, along with other sports. Castan Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
Now, the local football fraternity has lost a former member of the Trinidad and Tobago strike squad. Former Defence Force and Defence Force member, Ricky Nelson, passed away on Wednesday after a period of illness. He was 62 years old. Nelson was one of 7 Defence Force members and one of 3 players born in Tobago that made the final selection to the strike squad team for that iconic 1990 World Cup qualifying effort. His former Trinidad and Tobago teammates describe him as a gentle giant, a defender by nature who played any position in the back 4, and a team player despite not being a regular starter during the 1989 qualifying rounds. May he rest in peace. Internationally, Chelsea faces a mountain of charges, and Bolt makes one more boast. Speaking at an event for sports brand Puma on Thursday in Tokyo, Japan, ahead of the World Athletics Championships, which run from September 13th to the 21st, sprint legend Usain Bolt said he's not worried about any of his world records being threatened by any of the sport's current stars. Considered the fastest man alive and the sport's most recognizable figure, Bolt set both records, 9.58 seconds in the 100 and 19.19 in the 200 at the World Championships in Berlin, Germany 16 years ago in 2009. Since then, only compatriot Johan Blake has cracked 9.7 in the 100, and only Blake has run faster than 19.3 in the 200. Voicing his predictions for this year's Worlds, Bolt expects a Jamaican 1-2 in Sunday's men's 100-meter final between Kishane Thompson and Oblique Seville. Chelsea Football Club has been charged by the Football Association with 74 alleged rule breaches related to payments to agents between 2009 and 2022. 3 high-profile deals that formed part of the investigation involve Eden Hazard, Samuel Eto'o and Willian, but there is no suggestion of any wrongdoing on the part of those players. The alleged breaches concern agents, intermediaries and third-party investments. Chelsea, who reported the potential breaches themselves, have until September 19th to respond. And while the possible sanctions include a fine, transfer embargo and points deduction, Chelsea's high level of cooperation will be factored in. And now Jaden seals tonight's Sport High. Jaden Seals' pace cramped Moeen Ali for space to notch wicket number 1. Number 2 went right through Ben McDermott, Seals on fire. His third act saw him sent back Hetmeyer for no score, but the best was number 4. What a way to celebrate his birthday. Career best figures in the CPL for Seals and the CNC3 Sport High. And a happy belated birthday as well to Jaden Seals.
And as our colleague Ian would say, beautiful bowling.
Yeah, beautiful bowling.
All right, thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. Stay with us right here on CNC3.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children because they deserve it.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
Science calls it AMPK, your body's built-in system for burning fat, balancing blood sugar, and fueling energy. Berberine Plus naturally supports AMPK, helping you feel better, live better, be better. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powerful results naturally.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket. Bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. A remush, a water, shop, fair, go view. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket. Bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food Basket.
Marketplace Shoguanas, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Welcome back. Workers of the Dago Martin Borough Corporation believe they've identified a major contributor to flooding along Saddle Road, Maraval, which affects Bosse RC Primary School and its environs whenever it rains.
Now take a look at this. During checks of the underground drains at Ellerslie Plaza, located opposite the school, they discovered an old refrigerator and other debris lodged inside. Councillor Damian Fornilla said teams from the Borough Corporation and the Ministry's Drainage Division carried out cleaning exercises last week and again today. He added that an engineer is finalizing a proposal for funding to be presented to Cabinet in the hope of having it included in this year's budget. Meanwhile, at the Cabinet briefing earlier today, Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett said they are awaiting a report from the Educational Facilities Planning and Procurement Division before collaborating with relevant authorities. A member of the TTPS executive says there will never be total harmony in any organization, but says there is much love to be found among them.
Dismissing hints of discord and disharmony among the hierarchy following a public warning by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander this week, Junior Benjamin assured the public that the perceived cracks do not run deep.
I don't know if you see the love that is around here. I tell you, there's an awesome love around, even today, executive meeting. I mean, it was amazing to see the togetherness that we share.
During Monday's passing out parade, Alexander told members of the executive to either stand behind Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara or step aside.
Benjamin says Alexander's statements did not in any way affect the morale of the officers who continue to stand behind the top cop.
All right, well, returning to local developments, 12 of the nation's top performing students were celebrated today. Today's President's Medal Award Ceremony 2025, honoring recipients from both 2023 and 2024. President Christine Kangaloo praised the nation's top students as a powerful answer to Trinidad and Tobago's decades-old brain drain, saying their commitment to stay and build the country offers hope for the country's future. President Kangaloo said the commitment of this year's medal winners to remain in Trinidad and Tobago after their studies sends a powerful message about patriotism and nation building.
I was therefore tremendously pleased to read that the vast majority, if not all of you, have expressed your commitment to staying in Trinidad and Tobago after you have completed your studies and to devoting your time and your talents to building our country up. You have no idea how much it warms my soul to know that you love your country that much.
Now, that event took place yesterday. 12 students across primary, secondary, and higher secondary levels were awarded.
Congratulations to all the President Medal winners.
They've done exceptionally well.
It's time to recap our headlines. PNM promises to take government to court over dismissal of hundreds of URP workers.
With opposition criticizing her for not putting people first, the Prime Minister says she loves people, just not ghosts.
In sport, Jaden Seals and Amir Jangu come up with the goods, and the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons book a first-ever appearance in the CPL playoffs.
And in the weather for tomorrow, initially fair with isolated thunderstorms developing by late morning into the afternoon.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Ramboli.
I'm Jesse Ramdale.
I am Jassy Marik.
I'm Mark Rampasad. Have a good night.